Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your. The Warriors are doing very well in the playoffs and are beating the Houston Rockets 3-1. Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry are playing at a high level. Even so, the Warriors will need a big man for next season. Mark Williams would be a perfect fit for the Warriors, and this team could return to the NBA Dynasty. Because they have experienced stars and young players full of potential and a great center coming in, this team will have enough depth to be NBA champions very soon. As the Golden State Warriors search for an answer to fill their center spot, one potential option could involve moving on from a top 10 NBA draft pick. For years, the Warriors have struggled to find a reliable center they can trust rotating between Kevin Looney, Tracy Jackson-Davis, and even Draymond Green. In 2022 they managed to win the championship with a combination of that trio, but one thing now is different. Their team has gotten older, and the performances of Stephen Curry and Draymond Green are nowhere near what they used to be. In the past few seasons, Jonathan Kuminga's minutes have fluctuated, and we have even seen some DNPs due to Steve Kerr's coaching. The addition of Jimmy Butler has limited the 22-year-old's role, and it may be time they move on while they can. One potential target that could fit the Warriors' need for a big man would be Charlotte Hornets' Mark Williams, someone who has been involved in trade rumors, and even dealt to the Lakers before it was rescinded due to a failed physical this past trade deadline. Kuminga has shown tons of flashes as a potential hyper-athletic forward during his tenure with the Warriors, averaging 11.2 ppg on 51.3% from the field in his career, and 15.3 ppf this year. Williams, on the other hand, would act as a great rim protector and force in the paint for the Warriors with career averages of 9.4 ppg, 7.4 rpg, and 1.4 bpg in just 22 minutes of game time. Pairing Jonathan Kuminga alongside the backcourt of LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller could be exactly what the team needs as they progress in their rebuild. The former 7th overall pick should be yearning for a real opportunity after his minutes have been limited despite a great start to this season. A deal centered around Kuminga for Williams would finally give the Warriors an answer at the center spot and give the Hornets another piece to add to their young core. Whether each side would be willing to pull the trigger remains the biggest question. Jimmy Butler has Warriors on brink of eliminating Rockets in Game 5. The Golden State Warriors produced a determined effort to outlast the Houston Rockets in Game 3 of this Western Conference first-round series without Jimmy Butler on Saturday, with the reward for their perseverance manifesting in Butler carrying Golden State down the stretch and through the finish line in Game 4 on Monday. Hobbled by a lower body injury sustained in the second game, one that sidelined him in Game 3, Butler powered the Warriors to a 109-106 victory in Game 4 and a commanding 3-1 lead in the best-of-7 series. Golden State can eliminate the Rockets on Wednesday with a win in Houston, armed with the knowledge they have triumphed with and without Butler, although the first option is far more appealing. Butler paired a team-high 27 points with 5 rebounds and 6 assists on Monday. He finished 12 of 12 from the free throw line and secured the decisive rebound after Rockets center Alperen Sengun missed in the waning moments with an opportunity to provide Houston the lead. Acquired from the Miami Heat at the trade deadline in February, Butler continues to deliver in every way imaginable for the Warriors. "We have a great vibe here," Warriors coach Steve Kerr said. "Steph Curry sets an amazing tone. Jimmy arrived, he was instantly welcomed by Steph and the group, and vice versa. Jimmy really wanted to be here. It's just a great match. He was exactly what we needed. We've given him a group of guys to play with that I think he really enjoys. Yeah, it's been fun to watch it all unfold." The second-seeded Rockets are having far less fun laboring opposite Butler. Houston's inexperience continues to show at the most inopportune time, whether at the charity stripe. Houston has missed a whopping 35 free throws in the series or in close and late situations. The Warriors have outscored the Rockets by 9 points in the series with a cumulative plus 15 in the fourth quarter of their 3 victories and have continually displayed an ability to execute on both ends when winning time beckons. "Guys are down," Rockets coach Ime Udoka said. But they understand that the game we've played well, the one game out of the 4 we had a blowout win, and other games it's been a one-possession game a lot of times, or we've had a fourth quarter lead and not played well. Consistency wins in this series, and we've talked about that from day one, and we have to be a lot more consistent across the board. The plan is obviously to go home and get one and come back to San Francisco. Given the trajectory of this series, that might prove to be a daunting task for the Rockets. Their young core of Sengun, Jalen Green, Amen Thompson, and Tari Eason has played erratically. Conversely, the Warriors have relied on their ample playoff experience to see them through. The final win will be the most difficult. Of that truth, the Warriors are acutely aware. "You don't want to mess around with the game," Curry said. "You understand closeout games are extremely difficult because of desperation from the other side. Try to do it on the road is even more challenging. Doesn't mean you have to play perfect. You don't want to come in with that mentality. Oh, if we miss shots early, if they go on a run early, you don't want to get it in your head. It's a long game. Be resilient, relentless. You got to be disciplined more so than anything. I think that's our biggest challenge." Brandon Podziemski has arrived as a serious playoff threat with monster performance. This could be huge for a championship run. As the Golden State Warriors took a commanding 3-1 series lead over the Houston Rockets with a 109-106 victory in Game 4, the team looked to have gotten their rhythm back. Jimmy Butler, having missed most of the last 2 games with a pelvic contusion, returned to the lineup, and, although he was evidently stiff and in pain throughout the night, played a major part offensively and grabbed the game-sealing rebound from the hands of behemoth Steven Adams. Draymond Green, despite his 5 personal fouls, 1 technical foul, and 1 flagrant foul, came back into the game late after a prolonged absence in the second half, continuing his dominance of Rockets star Alperen Sengun. Yet, one player, second-year guard Brandon Podziemski, showed up in a massive way for the Warriors in Game 4, showcasing his continued ascension into the status of a serious playoff threat for his team. Podziemski's sophomore slump is officially over. Podziemski, 22, struggled at the beginning of this season following a stellar rookie campaign in the 2023-24 season. While the team pushed for Podziemski to take the reins of the starting shooting guard role, his decisiveness and shot-making were ultimately not where the team needed them to be, and those duties went, over time, to a combination of DeAnthony Melton, Buddy Hield and Dennis Schroeder. In the early days of the season, it seemed as though Podziemski's confidence took hit after hit, and Golden State suffered for its lack of a true secondary perimeter scoring threat. However, following the Butler trade and Hield's continued shooting struggles, Podziemski was thrust back into the starting role, and, apart from a brief absence due to a back strain, has not looked back. Over the final 14 games of the regular season, Podziemski was a major component in the Warriors' push for the playoffs, averaging 17.2 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 3.5 assists on 31.9 minutes a night. Yet, as Podziemski found his rhythm in the postseason, he was again stalled by a bad case of food poisoning that rendered him ineffective in Game 2 and limited him in Game 3 against the Rockets. In Game 4, however, Podziemski exploded for 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, accompanied by a key block in the final minutes of the game that propelled the Warriors to a nail-biting win. On the night, Podziemski shot 6-for-11 from three-point range, keeping the team afloat through their usual cold stretches. Now, if Podziemski has truly emerged as Golden State's third scoring threat behind Butler and Stephen Curry, the Warriors have become a genuinely dangerous playoff team. While it remains to be seen if and when Golden State will advance to the next round, this development is massive not only for this playoff run but also for Podziemski's confidence and career as a whole. Cam Johnson Turcado por Kuminga. Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your. The Golden State Warriors are currently locked in a tightly contested first-round playoff series against the Houston Rockets, but the franchise's front office staff could already be focused on planning their course of action for what will be an extremely important offseason. Golden State's general manager Mike Dunleavy will have to figure out how to navigate Jonathan Kuminga's impending restricted free agency, as the former number 7 overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft will likely command a salary in the range of $25 million. Due to Kuminga's apparent rift with head coach Steve Kerr and subsequent removal from the team's lineup to begin their postseason run, his eventual exit looks to be on the horizon. If that is the case, recent reports have indicated that Dunleavy could aim to get value out of the athletic forward via sign-and trade by shipping Kuminga to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for their scoring combo forward Cameron Johnson this summer. Kuminga has shown flashes during his career and could develop and reach his full potential on a team like the Nets, Clutch Point's Ben Cooper wrote Thursday afternoon. For Golden State, adding a 3-and-D forward in Johnson would fit well in a lineup alongside Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. His shooting and defense fit way better than Kuminga does in the Warriors lineup. In an interesting trade proposal, Cooper posits Golden State as a great destination for the experienced forward, while the rebuilding Nets would receive Kuminga and a 2029 first-round pick with a top 5 protection. If Golden State were to contact the Nets with the idea of swapping out their rising star for an established veteran, it would make plenty of sense. At 29 years old, Johnson enjoyed a fantastic offensive season for a brutal 26-56 Nets squad, as he contributed 18.8 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 3.4 assists while knocking down 39% of his 7.2 three-point attempts in 2024-25. The 6'8" distance shooting threat and solid two-way force could potentially make life easier for the superstar trio of Curry, Butler, and Green, and it may be in Dunleavy's best interests to explore a deal of this nature if the team wishes to remain competitive in the present. Steve Kerr avoids disaster with bizarre move that leaves Warriors fans stunned. This was odd. With Draymond Green picking up his 5th foul early in the third quarter of Game 4 at Chase Center on Monday night, Steve Kerr had a decision to make on how to keep the Golden State Warriors afloat for a significant period without their defensive star. Even with Green's foul trouble, few would have expected Kerr to turn to Tracy Jackson-Davis for pivotal second-half minutes in a potentially series-defining Game 4. Yet that's just what Kerr did, with Jackson-Davis entering and playing nearly 6 third-quarter minutes as the Warriors tried to find an answer for Rockets All-Star center Alperen Sengun. Warriors fans were left stunned by the introduction of Tracy Jackson-Davis in the third quarter of Game 4. The second-year big man began the season as Golden State's starting center, and continued to be so for 37 of the team's first 46 games. However, a mixture of his own poor form and the emergence of rookie center Quinton Post saw Jackson-Davis lose his starting spot and eventually fall out of the rotation altogether. Jackson-Davis has played more than 5 minutes in a game only twice since January 31st. They come in a blowout 148-106 win over the San Antonio Spurs, and a 133-95 obliteration of the Phoenix Suns, both of which allowed the 25-year-old to play considerable garbage time minutes in the fourth quarter. It came as little surprise that 25-year-old struggled to make an impact in the third quarter, with many Warrior fans left shocked at his entrance to the game over veteran big man and 3x NBA champion Kevin Looney. Jackson-Davis failed to record a single point, rebound, assist, steal or block in his stint on the floor. He was affected by opposing big man Steven Adams on a contested dunk as his only shot attempt, while his 2 fouls came in the space of a second as he sent Sengun to the line, then failed to secure the defensive rebound on the second free throw and subsequently hacked Adams. Is Jackson-Davis to blame for his underwhelming minutes? Absolutely not. Ask any player to go out and play in such a high-stakes game after practically no opportunity in recent months, and even the best will struggle.